James Gunn's DCU safe? Well, that's the story. What story? Oh, this one over here at Cosmic Book News. So, let's see. So, is James Gunn's DCU safe? Even though Gunn himself questioned if he would be there following the release of Man of Tomorrow in 2027. Well, according to a new report from Bloomberg, David Ellison's plan for Warner Brothers Discovery's merger with Paramount is to consolidate marketing, distribution, and streaming operations while claiming the creative teams at both companies will remain intact. However, that same report follows Bloomberg and other outlets detailing massive changes at Paramount that include layoffs, and you guessed it, creative team shakeups. Well, maybe not everybody, you know. So, according to Bloomberg, David Ellison, the 42-year-old CEO of Paramount and Skydance, wants to keep the creative teams from both studios intact while merging marketing and distribution. Intact while merging. You mean that's the initial approach will be merging the marketing and distribution, and yeah, it's the same statement as earlier. Anyway, Ellison also plans to combine Warner Brothers HBO Max with PP, creating a single streaming platform with an expanded film and TV library. Yeah, well, with Skydance Paramount being the parent company, my guess is HBO will just be a tab on PP. Yeah. Anyway, here's the statement or what have you. Anyway, David Ellison, chief executive officer and controlling shareholder of Paramount, wants to keep the creative teams of the two studios while consolidating some of the marketing and distribution, according to people familiar with his plans. No decisions have been made about whether Paramount would part with either company's real estate, including two of the most famous studio lots in Hollywood, said the people, who asked not to be identified. Yeah, discussing private information. Yeah. The merger would allow Ellison to showcase more projects and build a stronger subscription base. Well, yeah, you combine the two and it's already a stronger subscription base. You know, the people who only subscribe to PP, you get those to be a part of HBO Max. And the people who only subscribe to HBO Max, you combine that with people. See, the math works out. Of course, it doesn't work out for me because I'm subscribed to both already. So, But what are the odds that everybody did that? So, yeah, you get a bigger subscription base, for a while. Yeah. Anyway, the report adds that there are no plans to sell or spin off companies' cable networks. Really? Such as MTV. Well, that's at PP. But CNN or Turner Broadcasting, and okay, he's putting it all together in one hopper. So Paramount CBS News could begin sharing resources with Warner Brothers CNN News division. Yeah, they probably combine the two. Now, neither one has a great brand at this point. CBS News has more history. It's older than CNN, but CNN is getting pretty long in the tooth itself. Paramount News. Reorganize it like that. I don't know. But there you go. But is there any antitrust hurdle there? Not necessarily. CBS News is broadcast. CNN is cable. So, CNN just becomes the cable division of CBS News type thing. Could be that. But Turner Broadcasting and the like, I don't know. So that's what the thing if they can't get a full on deal, they would default to, well, what about this and what about that? It becomes a garage sale. Anyway, Ellison reportedly wants to leverage AI technology to help produce more films and shows, and it would be cheaper to do it that way, with a goal of 30 movies a year between the two studios, and reaffirmed his belief in theatrical releases as the best way to build long-term franchises. Yeah, I don't see any other model. You know, I mean, chasing streaming, it plateaus for what subscription base you get. Then you're going to have the people who only subscribe for a month to watch whatever, binge it, and then leave. It doesn't really replace the old model of movies and TV shows, and then, the physical media you can purchase, so they would make money on the back end that way. Well, now that it's all gone and replaced with streaming, it's not really replicating the amount that you would bring in to justify the expense, that the enormous amount of money thrown in to these things in the hopes that, this big thing or that big thing would ignite the excitement to grow subscription. But it only works for a time. There's only so many Stranger Things and stuff like that, And then the rest of it, it just sits there and rots. So the better way, just keep making movies like you used. Well, I mean, obviously with AI, it would be a different way of making it, but nevertheless, release them in theaters. Try to and do your damnedest to maintain that. I don't know. It may be too late already, but that's the deal. It's in the theaters first, Now it still produces the habit. I'll wait till it's online. Okay. But you need that. You got to develop it some. It's still not going to be what it was, but I don't see anything else, because at least you're making money up front on those tickets, and you still got to split it and all that, but you got that run. And then now online at, PP or whatever. And then they can come in to watch that, or the people who want to see it again. That kind of thing. And then your shows and stuff, the series. Yeah, it's still tough, isn't it? It sure is. But excitement about movies and whatnot might help a little. My guess is they're stuck pursuing shared universes now. Because you can understand the thinking in the model. If there's a TV series that's based off of a movie franchise, then there's that connection to interest one in the streaming service, I guess. Yeah, well, anyway, Bloomberg story makes no mention of DC Studios. Superman or James Gunn's leadership. Only that Ellison wants to keep the creative teams of the two studios intact at Paramount and Warner Brothers. Well, certainly over at Paramount, you gotta get rid of Secret Hideout if you want Star Trek to have any future. So does that count that way? You want to keep that intact? Oh. For all the mistakes that James Gunn has made of late, he's not in that league. So, and it's only one movie, really. You got, two more next year, Supergirl and Clayface. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe those will be smash hits, But that Peacemaker thing, oof. So, don't know. Anyway, as Cosmic Book News has gone over, Mike DeLuca and Pam Abdy run Warner Brothers Pictures at WBD. Gunn's DC Studios is separate and answers directly to CEO David Zaslav. Well, that might change. Maybe DeLuca and Abdy become the big bosses over all of it, Anyway, again, what does it say when the head of DC Studios openly admits he doesn't know his future, yet he's the only one with Zaslav's ear? Yeah, that is an interesting point, because DeLuca and Abdy, they've got a new contract. So far, it appears, as of taping, Gunn doesn't. His expires next year. He's got enough time to do Man of Tomorrow, so that's gonna happen. And after Man of Tomorrow, blah blah blah. I don't know. Now, again, DCU could continue. It just means Gunn's not going to be there. Maybe they'll make him a director of I don't know, another Superman if Man of Tomorrow is a hit. Uh, I would have thought give him Lobo. I think he could easily knock that out of the park. Probably the best thing there. Maybe that would be the deal. I don't know. But as far as the head uh, director or showrunner, whatever you want to call it, a boss of all DC, I don't know. He stumbled out the gate. Yeah. So anyway, for a merger that will completely reshape Warner Brothers' film division, the absence of DC is striking. Sources have told Matt McCline that Gunn's future is uncertain and that his DCU plans are effectively on hold pending the sale. If Ellison intends to keep creative teams, it's unclear whether Gunn's DC studios would even qualify. Recent Warner Brothers projects like Superman and Peacemaker season number 2 have been divisive, reportedly underperformed financially and lost audience interest. Not a strong position for a studio head entering a merger. No, it isn't. It isn't. Superman lost money. I hate to say it because I didn't hate the movie, and I like David Cornsweet. You know, I was a big Henry Cavill fan, but I think David Cornsweet can make a great Superman. Will he get the Superman movie that he deserves? I don't know. He didn't with this one. I mean, it's not even a Superman movie. It's a DC movie. You know, I mean, that's basically what it is. And that Jor-El business. Yeah. So continues. What could happen is that Gunn's DC Studios gets folded into Warner Brothers Pictures, led by DeLuca. Yes, I think so. And especially with the merger, I don't know what part Zaslav plays in that. He'll probably be on the board or something like that. But yeah, I don't know that he's the CEO of HBO Max when it's just a tab on Paramount Plus. So then it's like, well, Zaslav's ear won't matter that much when he's really not there anymore. So Gunn would effectively be answering to DeLuca. What's he going to be answering to Ellison? You know, no, I think he'd be under DeLuca, and Abdi would be the bosses of DC because they're the bosses of Warner Brothers Pictures. So the question is whether DeLuca would want to keep Gunn, since Gunn effectively went above DeLuca to form his own DC division. The move that, as McClellan reported, canceled DeLuca's plan to continue the Snyderverse. Yeah, but I think that's a Zaslav call. You know? I mean, it fits in with a continuation of Snyderverse, probably sounded to a more expensive, especially since you've had these veteran movie stars to keep playing the roles. Now you can bring in a new Superman who doesn't command that kind of pay scale. So, and that's the result. Really, the highest paid actor in Superman was Nicholas Hoult because he's been in several films. He's been a movie actor for a while. I mean, Cornsweet's been in movies, but not a major character or anything. I think Rachel Brosnahan was mostly from television, stuff like that. So they didn't get it paid. I forget the exact number, but it was pretty stark between them and Nicholas Hoult. So there you go. That you saved money just on that alone, and that's a Zaslav call. So I don't know that would be like DeLuca would hold a grudge against Gunn. And then if it's this business of he would have rathered the Snyderverse continue, at least, pick the best parts out of it and go with that, and namely having Cavill back as Superman, at least, was what he probably thought. Yeah, let's just do that. But how married to it is he? And then now there's all the excitement that, maybe there's a chance for Snyderverse to return after all. I don't know about that. But yeah, maybe. But I don't know that that's immediately what DeLuca would do. So, yeah, it's possible or whatnot, but just on performance alone, I think Gunn's in trouble here. And that's Nothing personal for DeLuca. I would think he's like, well, it's not doing that great. It underperformed Man of Steel, you know. I so probably my guess is, for the most part, depending on what Ellison would want and what numbers would impress him or potential thereof, uh, scrap everything, do Batman movies, and then revisit at least Superman. I don't know about the shared universe thing, but then again, like I said earlier, the shared universe thing plays into a streaming model type deal where you've got these basically spin-offs of the movies to maintain fandom and interest in the whatever franchise you create out of that. And so I, so I guess the shared universe could continue. But yeah, superhero movie stuff, this is very expensive. So it's a gamble either way how you do it. But ultimately, back to Gunn being in trouble. Yes. Is it because of DeLuca? No. And I mean, you got to look at the practicalities. Is there that would DeLuca see? Well, there's actually some potential here. I can see what Gunn's trying to do. And okay, one more shot. Well, he's getting his other shot. He's got these other movies in his DCU, you know, and then and one totally his Man of Tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see how Lanterns performs and all that. I'm dubious on this, but So meanwhile, back at PP, yeah, oh no, layoffs. Well, it's gonna happen. It's business of everybody who works in the creative field. Yeah, your jobs are not safe. You know, some of you will stay. Some of you. Not all. Regarding the changes at Paramount, Bloomberg reports that Paramount completed its merger with Ellison Skydance Media in August and will announce 1,000 layoffs this week as part of the restructuring. That's the first wave of cost cutting, with further consolidation likely if the Warner Brothers deal finalizes. Yeah, because now you got to make room for the Warner Brothers people, and so they got to shave off a good bit of those. So, yeah. Bloomberg also notes that Disney's 2019 acquisition of Fox led to massive layoffs and a reduction in theatrical output, which is odd because now they're looking at their Fox acquisitions as possibly saving them, in the movie business, because their massive hits that came out of that was Avatar, which, yeah, I personally can't stand, but it was a massive hit. And then Alien Romulus is all right. Yeah, I didn't really like it, but it is worse Alien movies. But it did well, so they got that, and maybe the Predator Badlands thing will do well for them. And then, of course, they were able to acquire Fantastic Four and X-Men, but out of that, you get Deadpool and Wolverine. Oh boy! So hey, what do you know? It worked out. But yeah, they had to get rid of those people because they don't have the room for them. And it's always the case with these mergers. So, and despite Ellison's insistence that creative teams will remain intact, well, kind of, sort of, they're going to lose some weight, That notion already appears shaky. Yes. Yes. Defined intact. Anyway, Tyler Sheridan, the powerhouse creator behind Yellowstone and multiple PP hits, has recently jumped ship to NBC Universal, ending his deal with Paramount altogether. Boy, that's not good. Because, yeah, his shows was really their crown jewel, in recent years. And I guess they couldn't keep him happy, in the midst of all this, or he just doesn't want to work for Skydance. I don't know. But that's it. He's hopping over to NBC Universal, which means Comcast, So now the deals with those, Yellowstone and all that, I guess Paramount keeps that. But as far as Taylor Sheridan being involved in it anymore, no. So you've lost your creator. So it's probably, well, these shows had a good run. You're going to have to bring them to a close. They'll still try to milk it probably, and there'll be these watered down derivative versions of it and that kind of thing. But yeah, if Paramount is already slashing staff and losing its biggest showrunner, the idea that nothing will change at Warner Brothers once the merger closes seems highly unrealistic. Yes, it is. If everyone working at Warner Brothers, oh, thank God. Yeah, no, not even James Gunn. So, yeah, uh, it boils down to lanterns and really lanterns. Uh, Supergirl and Clayface, of course. Uh, if for nothing else, they just don't lose them money. Clayface is probably the more because it was cheap to make, but they just turned it into a horror movie, and that one has the potential of at least not losing them money. So that could be a plus, but you got to have more than that in the hopper for DCU. And then Man of Tomorrow, once again, all on the shoulders of Superman. Will it work? I don't know. So, hey, that's nice, isn't it? That's nice. Well, turns out there's something else on the horizon. Uh-oh, now Comcast has interest in Warner Brothers Discovery. Oh, yeah, we forgot. Zaslav wanted a bidding war, and he's getting it. So, and of course, Comcast has Taylor Sheridan. So anyway, as Cosmic Book News said in 2023, Comcast is officially eyeing Warner Brothers Discovery. Speaking to Wall Street analysts on Thursday, Comcast's co-CEO Mike Cavanaugh confirmed the company is looking at studio and streaming acquisitions, and WBD fits the bill. He said the upcoming Versant spinoff, which separates Comcast cable networks from NBC, Peacock, and Universal Studios, gives the company flexibility for a deal. Kavanaugh suggested regulatory concerns are overblown, hinting Comcast is more open to acquisitions than people think. Oh, well. Via the Hollywood Reporter, Kavanaugh specifically named studio affiliates and streaming affiliates as areas of interest. That lines up perfectly with Zaslav's plan to split WBD in 2026. One company for Warner Brothers and HBO Max, which includes DC. Another for Discovery Global Cable Networks. Yeah. And that's the drag on the whole company. So you can just dump that. So Comcast said, yeah, we want that WBD part, you know. This puts Comcast squarely in the race alongside Paramount Skydance, which just had its third bid rejected, and Netflix, which downplayed interest, but hasn't rolled out a post-split move. That's the thing. It's more likely for Netflix. Should this bidding war not go well for Zaslav, for Warner Brothers to get the big chunk of it, sold, would be to split it up even further. And you're just going to have to sell off IP and stuff like that. But so far, it seems to be going his way. And now it's looking like the only potential one to beat Paramount would be Comcast. And Comcast already got Sheridan, So, So anyway, Zaslav has leverage. WBD stock has surged to over $20 per share, giving CEO Zaslav the upper hand. So it's not likely the board is going to revolt right now because he's making the money over this deal. So he's not selling cheap. And now that multiple parties are circling, including Comcast, the bidding war is just getting started. So it's working out his way. And as long as there's other people chasing after it, and just two powerhouses like Skydance and Comcast, that's pretty much good enough right there. And, so now the highest bidder wins, basically. And so there you go. So not really a done deal that it's going to be Paramount. So all the talk about, don't worry, your creative teams is safe under Ellison, which is a bit much anyway. But all that goes out the window if Comcast swoops in. And then it's a whole new picture. Or what is the future of DC Studios in that scenario? Yeah, I don't know. Well, we'll see how this turns out. One way or another, yeah, Zaslav's going to get his money, So there's that.